They're not looking at anything.
No, it's perfect. Like I said, we're just gonna put that and see if they notice those takes. And of course, tell them in advance. None of this is real. Of course, we're just teasing Tom and Cecil because we love to tease them.
Yeah.
And
I don't know who's. We must have gotten hacked, guys. Are we hacked?
we must have been hacked. Troy, I'm looking at you, Troy.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not doing anything here. Oh crap! I hit a key.
There you go. Clickety clack, click, clack.
Come.
There you go. Very nice.
Trouble.
Like those early 2000 hackers that didn't know that you had to use the mouse sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Everything.
They're just typing everything. It's like, are you ever gonna like switch screens or anything? Like, what do you?
Oh no!
You guys think this looks like Canadian whiskey? It kind of looks like Canadian whiskey.
Oh yeah,
it's actually iced tea, but they don't know that.
Right? Hell yeah. Yeah, I would just crank that bucket up.
Crank out raw whiskey. Tom and Cecil's favorite whiskey.
Yeah,
bold flavor.
Canada Dry. Wait, that's a different thing. It's ginger ale or something.
Oh, Helen, where are you, dear? I'm gonna take my phone out because she's gonna message. She's gonna poor Helen.
Yeah, that sucks. Our internet's not doing well, huh?
I know, right? It's been like that for several weeks, poor thing.
Yeah, shit.
All right. I guess all we have to do now is wait and read some more. So, how's life in Alligator, Florida?
It's going all right. Yeah, it's hot. It's hot right now.
I made a huge mistake the other day. I said I called you Governor George DeSantis for some reason. I don't know why I went with George.
Oh, because of George Santos.
Oh, maybe that's it.
I bet you, yeah.
George DeSantis, and it's only then I was thinking about during the show. I said, that's not right. That's not George. Then I remembered that somebody said somebody should have a transvestite or a drag queen called Ron DeSantis. Oh, it's Ron DeSantis.
Yeah,
that was what triggered my memory.
Jeez. Oh, that's funny.
Ron DeSantis.
Hey man, he's the friend of gas stoves everywhere. You got that tax break now. So
it's like Helen's trying to talk to us. I know she is. She's trying to reach out through the void and communicate with us. Come back to us, Helen. We love you, dear.
She's not impressed.
Here, let me see.
I'm trying to get my fucking computer next.
No, you poor thing.
Let me tell you.
Patreon gold. I will get a computer for Helen.
A little bit more. Sorry, are you looking at your volume, Helen?
I get a new computer next week, man.
Oh,
computer next week. Oh, cool.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Perfect. No, I would put you a little bit lower.
I'm trying to find. No, I'm looking at my storage. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay.
Well, Saturday.
Is that better?
Would you guess
right in front of my face?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. That
if
actually is.
Let me
louder. Put it down.
I lower it.
Oh,
here, it's not so loud. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, you got it. I'll turn you back to normal then. It was just a little bit louder the last time I turned it down, just a tiny bit. But yeah, you're good.
Well, Helen, Saturday with your guest there. What time is he?
Yeah, I think
he's in the Atlantic, right? I mean, he's in the Eastern time, right?
He's in so he's on Central.
He's on Central. Okay, so it means if he's on Central, he's 2 hours ahead of me and Troy. So what time is he going to be on?
So I thought you meant Elliot. Okay, Richard's in England, so he is.
Oh, he's way ahead of us.
Yeah, it's at
4 o'clock my time.
Okay, so 4 o'clock.
He's 6 hours ahead, 6 hours after me, so it's 10 o'clock there.
Okay, so it's 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock your time. That means for Troy and I, it means it's 1 p.m. for us.
What? Oh, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're 3 hours behind you guys.
Right.
Yeah, you got it. You're right.
So it's 1 p.m. Saturday.
Yeah.
1
I
p.m.
know
on
how to
Saturday.
math.
Yeah, but we're just doing an interview with him as well, right? And we're doing the same thing as we usually do on Sunday, right?
Yeah, we can do the interview with him, and then on Saturday we can do. On Sunday we can just do the regular first half of the show.
Yeah, that works for me. Unless you guys want to do it all on Saturday, I can do that too.
Is that this
I can
Saturday?
do it all on Saturday. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter to me. I don't have any until 6.
What would you guys rather do? Would you rather do the interview Saturday and the rest of the show Sunday, or would you rather do it all Saturday?
Shit.
I need to check with the missus because it's I didn't realize that there was a Saturday show until just today.
It's not a Saturday show; it's a Saturday interview.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Saturday interview.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't think we have plans on Saturday, so I'm probably a go. But just leave it. I'm tentative until I find out whether or not there's any family plans or outings that.
Hey,
Either way,
there he is. We got Cecil.
That's not Cecil.
What is happening?
Hey, how are you doing, sir?
How the hell are you guys? Tom's coming in too. Tom's coming in from a different camp. He's at home tonight recording, so he should be coming in a second.
Let's put you
it's in the beyond.
because Cecil's the top.
Yeah, he's in the beyond. Exactly right. Yeah, he's in the beyond. There you go.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey guys, how you?
Hello.
Well,
We're all right.
Thank you for coming, Tom. How's your family? First of all,
Everybody's good. Everybody's
good.
good. Thanks for asking. Yeah.
yeah, of course, yeah.
hello.
Hey, how are you?
We were kind of got there was a miscommunication the last time, and
Yeah.
we're waiting. So, well, hope everything's all right. And,
No, yeah, I appreciate the ask. Thank you.
yeah, not a problem. So, guys, this is already recording, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. It's not live. So, I mean, it's live, but it's not, being
Sure,
streamed.
no.
It's not
We know.
being
We know.
broadcast.
We have a guy who does this sometimes for us too, where he makes us record in this, so we get it.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Sounds good. So I guess we'll talk about your book, and of course we'll let you guys go because it's Tom and Cecil, so you just gotta let them go. So we'll talk about your book, your inspiration, all that. Is there anywhere you guys don't want us to go?
As far as the book is concerned, no.
I mean, I don't think we should be talking about the whole Andrew Torres thing. I know you guys.
Oh yeah, let's steer clear of that. Who wants to get sued? I mean, come on. Let's just steer clear of that.
Not fun. Fair enough. No, I mean, I know. So you guys had some dealings with Andrew, and so did we. And anyway, we don't want to get into that.
Yeah, now it seems like a terrible thing to talk about. Let's talk about something fun.
Literally anything else.
Now, Brent Lee suggested since this was Tom and Cecil coming in, you guys usually talk about butt stuff, right? That's usually your motto.
Yes, that's it. Yeah,
Pretty much exclusively. Yeah, it's pretty much exclusive.
Exclusively.
Which is hard to keep up. That is hard to keep up. There's a lot of wear and tear, but
It really is.
We're dedicated. We're dedicated.
I guess.
Well,
Oh,
Oh, Helen, you're a
it's
robot.
Bradley's favorite topic, so we're all set.
oh, perfect. Did anybody bring Danishes for Tom by any chance? No.
He's the only one
Nobody
who eat
ever
them
brings
anyways.
me
Doesn't matter.
Danishes. Nobody
Yeah,
ever
what?
brings me. They're
I
just
swear, last time we were waiting for you guys, I had a plate of Danish right here. Waiting.
Oh, see,
all right.
Tom?
So show of hands, Danish, team Danish. Can I get anyone else?
Yeah.
All right, Kev. You guys are all team donuts.
Oh, that was
How
the
can you
that's
all
the
be
dichotomy.
team
Oh,
donuts.
never mind. I'm on Danish rather than donut.
Yeah, come
I don't like
on.
either, really.
I like bagel cream
Good.
cheese.
Yeah, fried dough versus whatever that cheese substance is. You're going for the fried dough every time. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I only
Helen's having a hard time with her.
Helen, did you borrow your internet from someone and they're trying to take it back from you? What's
Is your production assistant Ian? Is that what's happening?
Damn it, Ian. We feel your
damn it,
pain,
Ian.
Helen. We feel your pain. I don't know if where you're at they have Comcast, but now I'm pretty.
No.
Look at that. They do have
Oh.
Comcast. Helen's
They
gone.
do it. Clearly, they do. Clearly.
That's how we know. That's it.
Well, actually, she's in Florida, so it might be Ron DeSantis doing something.
Oh my gosh, I feel real bad. She's in Florida.
She's in Florida.
Oh,
Yikes.
No. Well, Yeah,
Wow.
she probably got
Oh,
canceled for
by the way.
acknowledging that black people are real.
Where are you three at? Where are you three at?
Redley's also in Florida. Troy and myself were in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Oh, geez.
You're in Vancouver, right? Is it Vancouver area? Yeah.
Outside
Vancouver.
Vancouver. That's how you say it, right?
Vancouver.
Vancouver. Don't
Like
shed
I-
all.
It's like how you say Jehovah.
Jehovah. There you go.
Oh, we have Ellen now. Ellen, you with us now?
Helen, you back?
Maybe. We're not sure.
Oh, this is terrible, Helen. We're sorry. Your internet is not good. at
Yeah, it's
all.
okay. We'll just proceed, I guess. And we'll just
Do we have a can and a string that we can give her and see if that helps? I don't know. I feel bad that she can't get on and play, but
She'll interject at some point, I'm sure. Otherwise, she'll just be the lone female in the background of this song.
She's just here for representation. That's it. Like,
geez, that's the worst kind of tokenism,
no, now
guys.
she's gone. You chased her away with that comment. How dare you?
Ellen, come back. We love you. Come on.
Uh,
We love you. All right, let's make this happen.
Maybe she's not even real. Maybe they just put up like an image.
yeah,
Oh,
every
we-
once in a
we
while,
know
there's just a
we know
random.
woman.
Yeah, we know a girl.
We know a woman.
Yeah.
She's.
I met a girl
You know
once.
too much. You know too much.
figure with boobs.
I met her at summer camp, guys. I met her. She's real.
She's from the
like summer
Niagara
camp
Falls
girlfriend.
area.
He's a co-host from Canada somewhere, right? All right, let's get this going.
All right, let's get started.
Okay, recording in 3, 2, 1. Well, our next guests don't need to be introduced. It's Tom and Cecil. They are great co-hosts on this show called Citation Needed. It's another show they do. And I would like to remind you that this show with Tom and Cecil is brought to you by their favorite drink, Canadian Rye Whiskey.
Oh.
Nobody's favorite drink is Canadian rye whiskey. That's listener. If you're listening and not watching, here's what just happened. He introduced. Yeah. I will not be silenced with your audio effects. I'll go right over.
You have thousands of adoring fans.
Yeah, that's
applauding
right.
you.
Kevin introduced Canadian rye whiskey, which he had about 7 ounces of poured.
I know,
by the
right?
way,
Jesus.
in that glass.
Look
And
at
the
that.
only reason you
That's
can
Canadian,
drink
right?
Canadian rye whiskey in that kind of volume is that it's mostly flavorless water. That's it. That's it. Yeah, it looks like a big pour of whiskey, and then you're like, yeah, but it's Canadian whiskey.
Oh, man.
It apologizes as it goes down.
Sorry, I don't work
last
there.
time you referred to Canadian whiskey, Tom, you referred to it as sadness or pelted sadness or something like that.
Yeah, it's barley scented tears is all that is.
Oh.
Horrible.
Tom, Cecil, thank you so much for joining us on the show. It's always a pleasure having
Happy
you
to
on
be
board.
here. Thanks for having us.
We're of course happy to be here.
You don't have to lie. But we would want to talk to you guys about your book that you guys have. It's been out for a little bit already now. The Grand Unified Theory of Bullshit. Hey, Helen's back. Hey, Helen.
Helen.
All right, the Grand Unified Theory of Bullshit.
Poor Helen can't interject at all.
We'll see. Me, yay! I hate my computer. We'll see how
You got it. That was it. That was good.
Do we have like a
That's
a
solid,
see and say she could record on or something? What-
Oh man, it's great. So what was the inspiration for you guys to write that book? I mean, it's kind of interesting to see a couple of podcasters, popular podcasters like yourself, write a book that is usually reserved for academia. What was the inspiration? What was the genesis of that?
Oh man, so like we've been doing this podcast. We've been podcasting since, Tom, is it 16 years or 15 years? Your boy
16
is
years now. Yeah, my
16
boy
years.
is
So
over 16 now. Yeah.
yeah, so 16 years we were podcasting. We had another show before we started Cognitive Dissonance, but we've been podcasting Cognitive Dissonance for, at this point, it's got to be 12 years. And as you start doing more and more shows, you start to develop a pattern, and you hope you don't look like that guy who's got that, he's got that big board behind him with all the push pins and the yarn, and he's making all these connections. You hope you don't look like that, but really there's a lot of things that are interconnected and a lot of logical fallacies that interconnect different areas of bullshit and woo. So, there's a lot of reasons why people believe in alternative medicine. And those reasons are also the same reason that a lot of people believe in religion. And those are the same reasons that a lot of people believe in conspiracy theories. And you start to see a lot of these logical fallacies as sort of the glue that holds all this bullshit together. And that's really what the grand unified theory of bullshit is. It's noticing that there are a few key logical fallacies that humans are really susceptible to. And if you can identify them, you can see why we are so drawn to this amount of trash.
So you know how, like, when you drop acid and you realize the interconnectedness of all things? It's like that for bullshit.
Yeah.
Sounds like the old saying, bullshit baffles brains. It's with enough bullshit or logical fallacies and crap, you can pretty much convince anybody of anything. And like, I've known people in sales that could like sell ice to an Eskimo. Actually, I think that you're not supposed to use that word anymore.
Inuit.
Yeah, you're not supposed to use it.
But my apologies for all the Inuits out there. But either way, back to my point though, when it comes to like logical fallacies, we use them every single day. We experience them every single day, and especially if you deal with a lot of people in sales, it's like it's not just religion and conspiracy theories that's using logical fallacies. It's pretty much you're bombarded with it everywhere. So being able to digest all the bull crap that we get on a daily basis, I think is an important tool that everybody needs to learn. But
yeah,
well, and part of that too is that we like it, right? Like confirmation bias and other biases make it so that the pleasurable, easy, like joyful things that we interact with often are not true. And so pulling apart what we like to do from what is necessarily true is a useful thing to do, right? But it's a very difficult thing to do because it requires intentionality. And most of the time we live in our lives, we live in this reactive state, right? We live in these micro moments where we're in a space, in a moment, talking to someone, being at work, we're just living without a plan. None of us, we're not living intentionally for the most part. And that's fine. It's not a criticism. That's just how people interact and live. And we all are the same way. But the book was an opportunity for us to take a step back from that and see some of those biases that we all have and that we are. Nobody can say, like, oh, well, that's how they think. That's not me. Like, this is us. This is Cecil and I. This is everybody. Because our brains are garbage. Like brains are just nasty little meat computers that are no good at most things, right?
I'd like to point out
they're lazy.
I'd like to point out you look directly at me when he says our brains are garbage. That's that.
Our brains are lazy, and that's okay because they have a lot to do. We are not lazy, but our brains are. So we take a lot of mental shortcuts. We develop heuristics that aren't necessarily accurate, but that serve us in ways. And so without the ability to step back and gain some perspective, we can very easily be led down a very small path that then extends into bigger and bigger and bigger paths of bullshit. And that's where it becomes problematic. And part of the books is like, look, whether it's the Loch Ness Monster, which seems harmless, or whether it's, fake COVID cures, they rely on the same principles at their heart in order for us to say that feels good. So that's why I want it to be true. And the book really tries to kind of poke at that and expose it and think about it and mull over it.
You guys always bump into some situation that maybe some of these problems occur because we don't necessarily have pure knowledge, but we have a working knowledge of what is actually real in the world.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like
these questions, were you?
Pretty deep question. That's like a nature of everything question. Like, I don't know, man. Are we gonna fucking get high now? What's gonna happen? Hold on a second.
Kevin, I'm here for softballs,
I have my best ideas when I'm high. I have very deep thoughts when I'm high.
I think I have really good ideas when I'm high, but whenever I write them down, it's just, no, you're crazy.
It's all that. Well, it sounds like a lot like our book. But in any case, the
Trying to sell it here,
self-published
man.
is still published.
yeah. And you could just get self-published too. It's super easy. Anybody could do it. It turns out. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I feel like, you know, we were talking about earlier, one of the reasons why, you know, we wrote it too, especially, you know, the last chapter is sort of trying to figure out what is real. Right. And approaching the world intentionally so that you can discern what is real and what isn't, or at least to the best of your ability. Mm-hmm. And you do that by putting little traps in the way to make you sort of contend with your own biases at all times. And so you can, at some point, get close to what is real, get close to what is objective, get close to the truth, if that's what you want to use the word.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
It's so funny too, because like you're talking about like biases, and that's like something we all have, and we're, you know, if you have taken any kind of critical thinking, like we should already know that, right? But it's interesting because like you see like the CRT thing, and they keep on saying they say every one of us is racist. This is crazy, and it's like, dude, it doesn't. It says we all have biases. Like just basic critical thinking courses would teach you that, but you don't even, you know, they're just like stuck.
Yeah.
Well, and that's part of it, right? Is that we don't educate people in critical thinking, first of all, and then even when we are educated in critical thinking, either because we self-educate or because we were fortunate enough to be able to go to a school that teaches it. It is not something you learn and say, all right, well, cool, I learned that, right? It's right. We are always subject to it. None of us are above it, right? So just because I learned the names of these logical fallacies and I learned these different biases and okay, well, cool, I could pass the test. It doesn't make you immune in any way, right? And just because you can see it when someone else does it, doesn't mean you're not subject to it and doing it at the same time. We're like, part of the book is like, look, none of us are better than the other, right? What we have to be is vigilant. Constant vigilance is required. And Cecil's exactly right. The conclusion contains a lot of action steps and a lot of hard work that you have to do, and a lot of sometimes unpleasant work that you have to do. Like, hey, you know what? Maybe you can't engage in social media the same way that you prefer to engage in it, because you will be biased by repetition, right? So knowing that you will be biased by repetition, you then need to seek out less material, right? And that's something we don't want to do, because we want to like take a shit and look at our phone. We want to constantly be connected, because so there are a lot of things that we want to do that feel good, that reinforce and give us pleasure, that don't necessarily serve us in our desire to try to know true things.
Yeah, interesting. Sorry, go for it, Helen.
I was going to say, but also too, as you go forward and you recognize that you have biases, and and when someone points out when you're wrong, you get used to that feeling of the cognitive dissonance and learning to move on from it. Like, you learn that your biases don't make you bad, or, you know, you're not a bad person if you think about something. Because like, I want to be corrective. If I have a bad take or I don't have knowledge on something and someone corrects me, I'm like, oh, okay. You know, and I go look it up. And then if I trust the person enough and I know they're more knowledgeable than me on a certain subject, I'm like, oh, okay. And then I change my mind and I move on.
Yeah.
You know,
that's half our show. That's literally half our show. Corrections.
Being able
but
to
when
be
you're stuck, that's the problem. When people get stuck on that, I have to keep believing this. Otherwise, my whole worldview is going to fall apart. You know.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's harder when those things it's easy when it's like a factual issue, you know, like, oh, the sun is 93 million miles away. Oh, I thought it was 83 million miles. Oh, okay. Well, who gives a shit, right? There's nothing that strikes at your core values there. But when some of the things that we hold dear strike at our core values, when they undermine the way that we've structured our families, when they impact our finances, all of a sudden, all of us, hand very much up, we begin to double down, right? Because we have a stake in it. And so that's another element of this, right? Is that when we have a stake in the game, we become less objective. When we have an emotional stake in it, a personal stake in it, a familial stake in it, whatever it is, a financial stake in it. We are all objective. So, and I think a lot of times in sort of the classes that I've taken, at least in the discussions I've had, we talk about like being wrong, and we try to like, oh, it's okay to be wrong. But then we only talk about being wrong about inconsequential bullshit and not like wrong about deeply held core values that we've structured important parts of our personality and lives around. That's hard work. That's tough. And like, I don't want to raise my hand and say I'm good at it. That's hard to do. I think it's still necessary and we should still strive to do it. But like Brent, to your point, like people don't want to be racist, right? Because like they understand that if they are part of if they don't want to count themselves as part of a racist system because they've internalized the narrative that to be racist is to have a Klan hood and a torch, and that makes you a bad person. I'm not a bad person. Therefore, I can't be racist. And that's all backward, right? Like, and so there's going to be a deeply held belief about our own values and our inherent goodness that will be challenged. And so like, it's harder than just like, let's learn our confirmation biases. And by golly, we've sure knocked that one out of the park. Like it's not, that work is tough work.
And then the people, what they'll do is they'll push back on something like CRT because they'll say there's no way that can be true because I have a black friend or whatever it is. And they'll say but the problem is that they don't understand is that a lot of people have very racist tendencies that they don't even notice, right? And it's the things that slip under your own radar. Those are the dangerous things.
Well, look at me earlier. It's I used
right, yeah,
that I should not have used. I grew up in a very racist background. At the same time, nobody in my family was racist. Just ask them. But there was a lot of like micro racism, insensitive comments, just stuff that does not fly nowadays and shouldn't have flown or whatever 20, 30 years ago either.
Right.
And as a result is I try not to be racist, of course, but I still slip out.
Sure, absolutely.
And it's so easy to do. And when you don't have, when you're stuck inside an echo chamber, you don't really have the empathy to realize what it's like for somebody else, or even the empathy to realize that you can't realize what it's like for somebody else. There's a lot of hurdles to get over there.
Mm-hmm. When they first talk about CRT, I thought they were talking about a model from Honda. I realized.
Hey, Kevin, I'm just blown away that they have racists in Canada. I didn't realize that they had racists in Canada.
Oh, damn news, man.
They're polite. I mean, they're polite racists, but
Okay, yeah, all right.
They're polite racists.
Didn't they have like a COVID racist convoy up there at one point?
Yes.
Wasn't there like a whole?
They did. You're right.
They had like a whole trucker thing.
Were we just talking about that last week or a couple of weeks ago? We were talking about that shit.
Unfortunately, one of the secrets of Canada is it's highly influenced by American media. So that convoy started out with everything that's been going on Fox News and stuff like that, and a lot of people up here watch that. So this brand of QAnon crap is moving up here, unfortunately.
I'm gonna flip the script on you Canadians, and I'm gonna apologize for that.
Sorry for Tucker Carlson.
Sorry, I shouldn't.
One day we'll.
I'm sorry for America,
like
Canadians. I'm sorry.
Cecil, you can't apologize to a Canadian. It's like a mirror in a mirror. It just bounces back and forth.
I didn't say it right. I think I have to say sorry. Do I have to say sorry? I'm sorry. Sorry.
I just want to say I'm sorry that you have to apologize to us.
I knew it.
Damn it. You cannot apologize me. We're gonna fight.
We're gonna have an apology off. But like it is like I feel like every American that is a little bit more open-minded and we realize like the bullshit that's happened for the past year, no matter where you go in the world, you're just like, I am so sorry. I'm like, somebody from my country probably offended you and I am very sorry.
I'm gonna be traveling abroad this summer, and I am 100% gonna buy a Canadian hat and just wear it wherever I go.
Hey, I'm Canadian. That's not me. It's not my
You can't blame that shit on me. All I gotta do is say sorry instead of sorry, and I'm fine. I'll pass.
That's okay.
it's
Not about.
I gotta do shooters and maple syrup, and
That's
then yeah.
Injecting your vein.
We do that?
it's crazy that like for the
Over the
longest
US.
time, like the greatest American export, they used to say like the biggest American export is American culture, right? And that was the thing.
Yeah.
And that's true, right? Music, movies, you know, like it. And I'm hearing you like, oh well, we watch Fox News up here, and I'm like, fuck, like our culture is terrible. We shouldn't export it at all. Like we shouldn't be exporting it at all. We should importing just literally anything else. What are we doing? Are you
We should
kidding?
import culture, you know, just get the
Right.
yeah.
That's
Well,
called
I think
immigration, and we try to put a stop to that, Brandon.
Can't do that at
That's
Southern
right.
border.
That's
we
appropriation.
We could easily
you're
argue
right.
that America has a long history of doing exactly that, importing some cultures and then claiming it as their own, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's something like Mardi Gras
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
anything like that, right? I mean, now I get some American friends who tell me, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be there for Fat Tuesday? Fat Tuesday? What the hell is that? Oh, Mardi Gras. Oh god."
What? Really?
Easy movies.
Yeah, I just remember it's Pancake Tuesday. So
One day Canada's gonna take over the US, then you'll all
Hey.
be free.
At my size, every Tuesday's Fat Tuesday, so I'm just like, that's not much different than Fat Monday. What are you gonna do? Like, I'm just, whatever.
Guys, I gotta ask you, while you were researching the book, and I know, I mean, your years of working on citation needed, I mean, cognitive dissonance, help write the book and all that. But what was the was there a moment of discovery for yourself? You know, of learning about yourself psychologically, about the human race, or anything that really kind of opened your mind and said, "Oh shit, I never realized this."
You know what happened while we were writing the book? We started on the conspiracy chapter the day that they stormed the Capitol in the United States. January 6th was the day we
Get the fuck
started.
out.
Not even fucking kidding you, is the day we put pen to paper on the conspiracy chapter was the day they stormed the Capitol. And so we had a plan moving into the conspiracy chapter to talk about a lot of different things. And we almost certainly were going to talk about QAnon. We were going to talk about a couple of other things, you know, that really were, you know, embedded in society at that point. But that just opened up, you know, really it framed the whole chapter because you're talking, I mean, at this point, you're like, here's where conspiracy theories, you know, this is where the rubber meets the road when you really follow them as far as you can. And, and it just showed you how absolutely dangerous they were. And it really just changed the whole way we were going to write that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Canada has a QAnon queen. I don't know if you knew that. Or
Yeah, we saw.
Oh, yeah. I
And-
remember
and-
that. You guys got that cute. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that still active?
Oh,
yeah, she was in the. She's going through social media right now because she was telling people to shoot someone. I forget who.
Yeah, she
But
says,
she's
"What?"
done that a few times now. It's telling followers that. Oh, I think it's immigrants. Yeah, it's the shoot
Jesus
immigrants. I think she was
Christ.
saying.
What?
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
it's just crazy town, right? Like, and I don't know how she keeps herself out of jail because we do have like hate crimes.
She has been arrested a couple of times actually, but you know,
She does that sovereign citizen stuff, right? Like, don't pay your taxes,
Yes.
the government doesn't own you, and all that stuff.
Is sovereign citizen thing? Is that a thing in Canada? You guys have sovereign citizens too?
Everything leaks across the border.
Oh, God.
Let-
Do we have the
listen,
same constitution? or
Sorry.
what?
What?
no, but
listen, I keep telling the foreign nations, don't copy America. We have bad ideas. Like, you copy our good ideas. Don't
you
don't
You gotta
copy
search
the
for
bad
those,
things.
but yeah.
we
yeah,
could do an
for
entire
sure.
show.
But I
on
love sovereign citizen videos, especially when they're in court and all their arguments break down. I love it so much.
Well, it's kind of funny because the other day I was watching. There's this documentary that just came out by The Atlantic on the History Channel called Shadowland. Don't know if you guys have looked into it, but you should. You totally should.
So good. Yeah.
They started filming this in 2021, and they're following this whole Q conspiracy and everything, and all these crackpots. And they're focusing on this one or two episodes on this woman. One of them that I actually know personally, that I actually interviewed her and everything. And there's this other woman in Pennsylvania who owns this little cafe and all that. And she was there part of January 6th, and she was arrested, and she's gone to court, and they're following her and everything. And she went with the defense of sovereign citizen. And it was funny because, you know, I saw the episode, which, like I said, it was filmed in 2021. And then the next day, I'm listening to the Daily Beans. You guys familiar with that little podcast, the Daily Beans?
No.
No.
Oh, anyway,
Awesome.
Allison Gill and all that.
Allison Gill. Yep.
Anyway, does a lot of American news. It's very good. And they talked that day how this very woman that I was watching the previous night, now, of course, we're in 2023, has just been condemned by the judge. You're guilty, and you're going to jail for maybe 20 years or so. So she, I was watching this on TV last night. Oh my God.
Is that the one that has Liz Crokin in it? There's like I know there's a documentary that followed Liz Crokin for a bit.
Hey, high
That
four to
lady's
Liz
the
Crokin.
best.
High four,
That lady's,
Liz Crokin.
that lady's the best.
Oh yeah, she is
Oh, my
wild. Like,
It's wild to see what's going on there.
If I was sentencing a sovereign citizen, I would finish it with, and yes, you are being detained. It would be amazing just to detain the shit out of them. Yeah, you're being detained. 20 years, you dumbass.
I'm just watching this documentary and I'm yelling at the TV. My girlfriend says she's looking at me. She's like, holy shit! I'm yelling at the TV because she's about to face the judge, but instead of talking to a lawyer, she's talking to an activist. And I'm thinking, what the fuck are you doing, you moron? I'm yelling at the TV. Shit.
Like, and those people are always surprised when it doesn't work. That's the best. That's what makes those videos
Right?
so satisfying.
Yes,
There's nothing
that
in
is
the
what
world because they're just like, the cop will pull them over or whatever, and the cop be like, all right, I need your driver's license. And they're just like, am I being detained? Sovereign citizen, maritime law, whatever, free people. And then they get arrested and they're just like, they're shocked.
Yeah.
They're shocked. Like they think they've got like the one cool trick, you know?
And no,
They think that when they get a ticket, they can order off the menu, and you're
Right.
like, no, you can't. No,
Like,
you're
there's
gonna
like
get a ticket. That's how
series
this
of
works.
code words, and if
Yeah.
I say them,
Yeah.
you're pulling me over, purple monkey dishwasher, wink, wink, and then you
Well-
get let go.
No,
I mean,
that's not
the
how it works.
religious
You get
freedom-
electrocuted if you argue. Yeah, that's how it works.
I mean, the religious freedom shit, I think, has basically poisoned the well. You know what I mean? In that sort of sense. Because, like, the sovereign citizen thing, I swear to God, stems from the fact that, like, all these people are like, but I believe in magic, you know? And they're like, okay, well, I guess you're right. You can kick the queer person out of your cake shop. Cool. Yep, you got it, buddy.
Oh man,
Believes in
yeah.
magic. What are we going to do?
Yeah, right. We give too much credence to that. You're not
Well,
wrong,
the-
right?
the-
Because
the
we
worst-
we give credibility to that in all these other
Yeah.
places, and they're like, well, let me try it in court. And court's like, wait a minute, maybe
Wait,
you're not.
yeah.
No, bailiff, no.
Or they'll read some weird esoteric passage from some letter that Monroe wrote, and they'll be like, no, this shows you that I don't have to pay my taxes. You're like, shut the fuck up. All of us have to pay taxes, stupid. Go back to your corner. What is wrong with you?
You know what? I would
I
totally-
remember.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
remember when I first heard about sovereign citizens, I stumbled on this YouTube video where they were showing like your birth certificate is the thing that's keeping you a part of the system, man. And they assign you a number, and that makes you. And I was like, what? And they're like,
love it.
they're like, this is what makes. And like, you don't have to be the number and be part of the nation. You are a nation unto yourself. And I was
I have my own country.
what the fuck am I watching?
I want to see
man.
you put on a bandana now and just look. Dave's not here, man.
Yes, keep in mind, the whole country of America is a corporation. I mean,
Oh
kind
yeah,
of,
seen that,
but
yeah.
like,
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
they,
I see why they
say
get
that
that out.
crazy stuff, and you're like,
Crazy.
yeah, cool, but what does that mean? And they're like, I don't know. I
right,
YouTube told me this, and like,
right, is
It means I'm allowed to use the benefits of being American citizens, but none of the repercussions.
right?
That's
Well,
what
like, if America's a corporation, cool, you're fired. Like, there you go.
right,
Like,
exactly.
awesome, neat, you're fired, dumbass.
guys, I
And that's what happens because they get arrested because they do something stupid, or they don't, or they get, they become squatters because they won't pay their mortgage, or they get their electricity turned off, or some other shit, and then they go to court because they're acting like asshats, and then the judge is like, well, you can't stay in your house because you didn't pay your mortgage and you're not paying your taxes on it, and they're like, but sovereign citizen.
I believe in magic. I believe in magic. No? What? No?
guys, I gotta ask. Your book has been out for a little bit now, not very long. How has it been received? Because the question, the reason I'm asking this is, you're
Is this not very good? You're
No, no.
stumbling around that, huh? That hurts, Kevin. From
You
you,
don't have to
no, no,
tiptoe.
that hurts.
You don't have to tiptoe. It's fine.
no, no, no. I'm asking
Kevin talks trash about your book all the time when you're not around.
God damn it, Kevin.
that is not
That's
true.
Helen. Come on.
I'll let
Right
you find it.
there.
No, no.
You abbreviate it as bullshit one time, and you hold it against him.
The reason I'm asking is because this is a topic that normally you would perceive a book like that to come out of academia. And you would perceive psychologists to come out something like that. And here you have a couple of excellent podcasters, but podcasters nonetheless, that are talking about a topic that usually you would expect, academia. Has it been like pushback from academia or from other sources, or has it been interest on the
I was surprised when Yale took it on as their primary source and text material for the upcoming. Nobody knows we wrote it.
I will say this. We got invited to speak at Skeptics in the Pub in the UK over Zoom, right? And we had a great time. And really, the thing is I think that this book is written in such a way that while the topic might be, I think, in some ways academic, right? I think that it's written in a way that it isn't written in a way that is unattainable or inaccessible. I think it's, we're two regular guys. Like, yeah, we're both, sure, we're both college educated, but we're certainly not PhD level, and we're not writing some sort of term research paper or dissertation. No. We're trying to write a book that everybody can read and everybody can understand. And so while the topic may be sometimes a little bit broad or a little bit complicated, I think that what we bring to it is sort of our everyday regular guyness, and I think that helps. That helped. I think a lot of people really. All we received was a lot of people saying, "I really enjoyed the book." I didn't get any messages from anybody who was like, "I fucking hate you and I'm going to fight you the next time I see you." I didn't see any of those.
Fuck, man.
I'm not saying that doesn't exist.
I don't know why you always send my messages to spam.
That's a good. I would have thought that somebody from academia, psychology, something like that, would have had some interest.
No, we didn't. We didn't get a lot of coverage when it came to that. We did get, we got a couple of different magazine type, blog type things, picked it up and ran with it, and we sent out a couple free copies to people to do reviews and whatnot. But really, one of the things that we wanted to do was we were asked by our podcast audience multiple times. You guys have talked about a lot of this stuff for a long time. Are you guys ever thinking about putting out a book? And we talked about it. Tom and I talked about it years ago to put something out. And what happened was we shelved it because when we tried to put out a book before, Tom and I tried to write it separately, and it didn't really work very well. And so we had to really come together and think about what we were going to do, and then sort of put it and commit to it. And when we finally committed to it and finally started putting things down actually on paper, it just sort of it came from all of our experience, and it really did write itself.
That's very
You both wrote it together, like how you would each said a word.
Every other word,
every other word. Yeah. That's exactly how it worked. We wrote it with a Ouija board, and so what we would do is we would hold the planchette. That's what they call that thing, a planchette, Kate planchette, and you would just work your way across the board.
That takes a lot longer.
It really is a long time to write a book. It's very long. It's really, really hard.
Zero out of 10. Do not recommend.
Yeah.
No,
it was
Well,
either that
like
or
the
see and spell.
true test of how good your book is if you get Jordan Peterson to review it. And
Oh.
Start flying over it. No,
get into the halls of academia.
I will say this: writing the book with Cecil was a pleasure in the same way that doing the podcast with Cecil is. We have worked together now for 16 years, and we just enjoy each other's company, and we appreciate each other's strengths. And I think we fill in each other's gaps as far as strengths are concerned. And so it was just a real joy to collaborate with him on it. So it's not like I did one chapter. We tried that. We tried the I do this one, you do that one approach. And that it got boring, to be honest with you, because it didn't really feel collaborative. It felt like assignments. This is my assignment. That's your assignment. And this book was more collaborative in its approach. And I thought it was it was a fun project to work on. I will say that the thing I learned is writing a book takes a lot of work. It takes you finish the book and you're nowhere near done.
No, so much
like
editing.
Finishing the book is kind of the easiest part. You're like, okay, book's done, and you're like, cool. I guess I have to do all this work I'm not interested in next.
There was so many edits. It's just crazy how much. I mean, we hired an editor, an outside editor, to read it, and she was an atheist. And it's funny because when I posted on this board to find an editor, there's like a place that you can it's like called Upwork, right? And so like you can just find people who do freelance work. And I posted, and a bunch of people said, "Hey, I'm interested to do your book or whatever." And I found this one lady, and she's like, "Yeah, to be honest, I'm really interested in the subject material. I've never heard of you guys. I don't know what you guys do, but it seems like a cool thing." And we were like, it turned out to be a great relationship. She was an excellent editor. Lisa, she crushed it. And she would come back to us with really hard. It was sometimes reading her notes, you just be like, I thought I was a way better writer than this. She was brutal. She was more brutal than any teacher you ever had. She was more brutal, man.
Brent just died. Let me tell you, you're not getting away with it, Brent. I saw you. I do a fair bit of writing, and I've always thought I was a decent writer. And I spent a lot of time on one section of the book and felt very, very pleased with it. And I was like, oh, in my mind, I was like, this editor is gonna she's gonna come back and be like, fucking gold star, gold. See me after class and just
no edits. Yeah.
And instead, she basically was like, is there any way you could write this entirely over and better, and this is the worst? And then she hit me very hard. She wrapped my knuckles. I mean, it was fucking.
He's kidding, but there was so much red fucking markings in there. It was amazing how much she really just suggested. She's like, you need to write this whole section over. It was really, she was brutal. She was just brutal. Yeah. She was great.
It was humbling in exactly the best way.
Yeah. If that book reads well, it's not because of us. It's because of her. Yeah. She was an excellent editor. Yeah.
She was like, do you know how humans sound, right? You know how humans sound?
That's kind of what she said. That's kind of how she treated us. It was really amazing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Use your big words, Cecil.
Oh, man.
So
it was brutal.
Is it true to the rumor that the book would have been twice as long if it wasn't for the fact you had to eliminate all the stuff about Eli Bosnick in
there? Who?
Well, we didn't want it to be boring, so we cut him out of it.
It was like a whole chapter on just his asshole. So we were just like, no, we gotta take that out of there. All the things that can fit up there. You're just like, no, we don't need to know, and nobody needs to know that.
Is there another book in the future for Tom and Cecil?
Is there another book?
Are you guys going to repeat this? Are you guys going to?
I think Tom has a book in him, but I think I'm done.
Yeah, I think I'm hoping. I've got a lot of stuff going on right now, so I won't have it done. Maybe in 24, I'd like to have a book. I do a podcast called Dear Old Dads, and I've been writing for years a series of letters to my boys. It's this advice that I started that was very personal that I write to my boys, and I'd like to adapt some of that material into a book. I probably have another 15, 16 essays left to write, and then I have to give it to Lisa, who will tell me that I'm the worst writer that's ever picked up a pen in all the history of time and stab me in the throat, and then we'll go.
So it'll start in 24. It'll end in 28 is when you'll get the book out.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I would like to have a book out, a parenting book out maybe in 24. So.
And you guys also just went through episode 666 on cognitive dissonance. Congratulations.
We did. Pushed past the milestone. Throw up the horns.
Yeah,
666. We were waiting for it for a while. We were thinking about getting somebody from the Satanic Temple on to come on, but we just decided to instead not do that. Mainly because the last time we tried to get somebody on, they just blew us off. Like we did that a couple weeks to you guys. I don't know if you remember. You guys were waiting for us to come on.
Yeah,
and we told Ian to tell you that we couldn't make it, and he didn't do that. And then you guys were just sitting there, and I get a message. Oh, hey, you guys gonna jump in? You're waiting for us for like 10 minutes, and Ian is the one who caused all this. In any case, that happened to us with one of those Satanic Temple guys. So that's why we've never had anybody else.
But unlike
with
you
Satanic
guys,
Temple.
we're not gracious about it.
Probably.
Yeah, and unlike the Satanic Temple, we actually did come on your show eventually.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, fantastic.
it really was a mistake.
That's okay. So is there anything we should know about what's coming up on either Cognitive This or Citation Needed or anything like that?
Well, for Cognitive,
we're
we just
just
changed the structure of our show pretty
I
dramatically.
know that.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that having less twice a week now. I like that.
Yeah, we're doing a couple of extra Thursday shows a month, and we're doing shows that when the pandemic started, Tom and I were doing we wanted to get away from the news that was COVID, because everything was COVID, literally every single thing was COVID, and so we knew everybody was doom scrolling all day long on their phone, just like COVID news. So we knew everybody knew everything. There was nothing we were going to talk about that was going to be interesting. So instead, we went to goofy man bites dog news, and we had such a fun time talking about
great.
crazy stuff that was happening. We had so much fun, and so we just recently released a Thursday episode where we just did what was it, goofy news for like 45 minutes, and we had so much fun just returning to it. It's hard to make fun of stuff when you can look and say, oh my God, it feels like the world's burning down. I don't know that I can make a lot of jokes, but when you just have like goofy stuff that's happening, it's easy to just have fun with your buddy. And so that we've had such a great time doing it. And we're really looking forward to releasing a couple of those a month.
And then we're also doing deep dive episodes. So a deep dive episode is where we take a long form article. If you're a $2 patron, I'll read it to you. We take a long form article, we'll read it to you, and then we'll have a long discussion about that article. So we just did one about Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter and how just unbelievably inept he was at every stage of that process and continues to be. Kind of breaking down the sort of mythos of Elon Musk as this bizarre business Superman. It's nonsense. He's terrible. He's the worst.
He's Iron Man. What? God, he is Tony Stark. What?
You know what? I'll fucking fly around and shoot missiles from your hands or shut the fuck up, right?
Imagine if he could do that.
Imagine Brent, if he could. The world would not be a better place with Elon Musk shooting missiles out of his hands.
It would not.
He'd be shooting all the poor people.
He would assure the mutually assured destruction. You know what I'm saying? He would make
the nuclear option.
So that's been a fun structural change to the show, and we really want to get more content out to the listeners. That's really been important to us, is to really get more content out, more stuff for our patrons, and it's been fun. So that was our big 666 announcement that we did, a restructure and a big additional give to the audience.
Excellent. Tom Cecil, thank you so much for being on the show today. But before I let you go, like usual, I got to have you guys say, hey, this is Tom Cecil of Cognitive Dissonance, and we took a left in the valley.
Hey, this is Cecil.
Is Tom and Cecil.
No. I'm going to say, hey, this is Cecil. And then you say, and this is Tom.
Then I'm going to say, hey, this is Cecil.
No,
but I'm not.
You got to say your own name. You have to say your own name now, Tom.
Every time.
All right.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Cecil.
This is your own name. Wait, did I get it right?
And Tom took a left at the fucking valley. The fuck? I think that's as good as it gets. I'm sorry.
I could keep making it worse, though.
That's as good as it gets.
Okay. The first time
I think we're going to need at least 666 more takes.
I remember the first time you guys came on the show, you guys said, oh, yeah, Cecil said, yeah, the left of the valley goes right through the glory hole.
That's awesome. Thanks for having us, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I don't know if you guys noticed, there's a little scroll that was happening at the bottom of the show.
I saw it. I saw it.
You guys didn't do a peep about that.
I saw the one where you said that we were controlled by Ian, our producer. So I saw that one earlier.
Yeah,
you've been having fun the whole time.
Yeah,
good for you.
Tom and Cecil save 10% by switching to Geico.
The one that's on right now is Tom can lick his own elbow. That's particularly funny to me because I am the least flexible person you have ever. Like, I can't even reach my own seatbelt in my car without using one arm to push. I gotta take one arm and push my other arm. I am. It's
flexible as I am.
Comically inflexible.
Oh yeah, got Tom's nickname in school was a Southern Dandy.
Yeah, some good ones on there, man. Yeah, some good ones.
Cecil had to kill several people to finish the book. He serves them in his recipes.
And he'll teach you how to cook them up at Season Liberally.
That
You
was
can
good.
watch his YouTube channel.
Subscribers.
Liberals,
Other
that's what he
writers.
does.
Guys, this will air very soon here in the next couple of days or so.
Okay.
So feel free to share it, and
We will. Send us a link, and I'll send it to my my social media people. And we didn't mention it on this show, but we'll mention it on the next show that we were on. Okay.
Absolutely. Yep.
And if you guys ever want to do like a panel to discuss our respective countries and what's happening, QAnon, and all that stuff, we'll be more than happy to come because there really is some interesting parallels and differences.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be cool. Yeah, we'll
absolutely
we'll be in touch. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
And Tom, I'd like to. I know you're super busy. Down the road, if you're not too far, if you're so inclined, I'd like to have you. And I know Thomas is hard to get, and Eli to talk about Dear Old Dads as well.
Sure.
It's a fantastic podcast. I love it. And
thank you.
I think around everybody just absolutely loves it. So I think it's totally worth some publicity if we can help.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank
That's
you
really
very
kind
much.
of you
We'll
guys,
take you
man.
up on
That's
that. It's
awesome.
very kind of you.
All right, guys, you have
That's
yourself a
awesome.
great night. Really appreciate you coming.
Good
Good
night,
talking to
guys.
you guys again. Take
Great
care
to
of
see
yourselves. All right. Great to see you all.
All right, guys. Take care now.
Good night.
Peace, fellas.
Have a good one. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye now.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good.
That was fun.
All right, perfect. Helen, your internet finished by working at some point. Like, yay!
Because I'm on my phone, motherfucker. Like, I have my phone on. I'm getting my new computer. It's supposed to be here between the 11th and the 16th. You know how fucking excited I am?
All right.
It
So,
looks good. Sound good.
So, Troy, you got to let us know. I'll leave the decision to you whether or not we're doing the entire show Saturday or just half of it Saturday and half of it Sunday. It's up to you. Whatever works for your schedule. So far,
I'll talk with my wife. I just know that we get like family stuff planned on the weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Or friends coming over or other stuff. So it's I just need to check.
Yeah, check and get back to us real soon since it's already Thursday.
But it's plan for me as a yes right now, but there's just set it as tentative, and I'll
if you're,
my wife and I'll just throw it on the chat.
I always try to do my chit chat at the last minute as much as possible because news always comes in, right? So you always try to wait for the latest news. So that works. Excellent. Anything else I need to say or mention or talk about? We're all good.
Who's our guest on Sunday?
Our guest is, let me get that here. It's Richard Gilliver.
Mm-hmm.
Gilliver. What are we talking about?
He is going to school. He is doing his master's in religious studies and theology as an atheist. So he's doing a shitload of study on that. And he's an ACA host and volunteer.
Oh wow!
Okay. Is he the one that was like asked not? Was he like asked not to do that by the dean or whatever? There was like a.
It was like he got it was really interesting how he got into it. He's always been an atheist. Like he was not raised in religion, but he got really into talking about like why do people believe what they believe and why do people believe in religion and where does that came from, and started studying it. And his wife was like, you should go to college for this. You should go to uni. He ended up going to school. And now he's working on it. I think he's working on his master's right now. So it's pretty crazy. So he's very knowledgeable, but he's also like one of the nicest people. Like we've become friends over the past year. He's just one of the nicest guys I know. And I met him through the ACA, and he's super smart. He's very funny. So I thought he would be a great guest because he's full of knowledge stuff in his big brain. So
oh yeah.
And I see on the schedule you put back Elliot again as
yes, he wants to. You said you invited him back, and he wanted to come back.
Oh, okay, cool. So I guess we're really good.
You're the one that invited him back.
Well, I don't invite them all back. That doesn't necessarily mean they want to come back.
You don't mean it then?
I mean, I just invited Tom and Cecil back, but they're not going to be knocking on our door and saying, "Hey, Kev, can we come back?" They're not going to do that.
Listen, if you invite any of my friends back, I'll put them back on the schedule.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, because I got Elliot coming on my show too to do apologetics. So that'll be
You're not
cool.
allowed to do
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
You're going left to the valley. You're not allowed to do
Yeah.
shit.
Well, that's what I was gonna tell you. I'd really like to get all of us on to read an article together. That'd be really
Of
fun.
course.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. And
I'm down. When do you record your show?
Just whenever it's pre-recorded, so like I usually just whenever I can get with because usually it's me by myself, so I can just do it whenever I got a second. But really,
Right.
whenever I whenever we can all get together, it's
essentially
cool.
what we used to do with Benjamin and the old crew.
So I read a Christian article word for word. It's like
Yeah.
what you and we did it about the rainbow. Remember,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the one taking back the rainbow.
Yeah, just set it up. You know, I mean, unless I've got an out of town assignment or late work day, I'm totally for it, man. I'm gone.
Right.
I read an
Hell yeah.
interesting Christian article the other day about how Adam and Eve were able to produce black, white, beige, yellow, all these different skin colors.
Really?
From just by mixing X and Y chromosomes.
Oh,
It's like I'm reading this. It's like that's not how it works.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Like, and that would be a good one too. I don't know if because a lot of times I'll bring on Matt Lund. He just does research. He's a lot like you, Troy. He'll do like a lot of research and know about a lot of different stuff. And I'll let him kind of break it down, because I don't do any research. I just make jokes.
Matt would have been a good co-host on the show too, and he tried there for a while, but our recording schedule doesn't match with his at all. And
that's my biggest problem too. I tried to get him to come back. I mean, he still is coming back. I still have him like as a reoccurring guest, but like it's not a every week thing,
What is Matt? Maybe we should have him as a guest. What does he do? I mean, besides
I don't know.
I guess that's the thing. I gotta have a subject to talk to him about. I can't just bring somebody just for the hell of it. I gotta have something to talk to them about, right?
So Kevin, you know how you wanted Dr. Ray to like do his talk on incel? So apparently he's doing like this big research project on them. He's going to do a talk from RFRX. So when he does his incel talk in April, he'll have like a very different take on incels and stuff like that. He mentioned it on Monday.
He messaged me that. He messaged me and he said, I might be surprised on this take. So that's going to be interesting.
He's like, they're actually right. They're right about everything.
That's right.
The rest of the world is wrong. Just saying.
I'm about to go full V, and there's a lizard person underneath here.
It's interesting because we got him talking about, from the point of psychology and sexuality, I guess. But Professor Hodge, which is here not this week, but next week, he's going to be talking about sociologists. So that's going to be interesting as well. He's going to be talking about incels as well. So,
hey, Helen, you said a lot of people at the ACA and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know Josh Bowman?
Yes, I do know Josh.
What's that?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Not well, but I know who he is.
Do you wonder? I wonder if we could be able to get him. That'd be cool.
I can shoot him a message. I asked Forrest to be on too, but he won't be able to come in September because I thought it would be really cool to him for all his study and evolutionary science and stuff like that. And he's very funny and like super smart. So I asked him, but he's so busy with school and his YouTube channel that he wouldn't be able to be coming in September. And I'm like, I think we'll still be here, so we can wait till then.
Yeah, some people are very easy to get, and others are just like impossible. For a while, I tried to get Vice Rhino on the show. Never been able to get him on the show. Thomas Smith, right? I've had him on the show once years ago, but he's like impossible to work with. I mean,
doesn't even
did you ask John, Godless Engineer, to be on?
Oh yeah, we had John several times on.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Never mind. I didn't know. Sorry.
He's coming on my show at the end of this month too.
I love him. He's a sweetheart.
You're doing.
Hell yeah.
No, cool. Yeah, we had John several times, and I like Hemet Mehta. I had him one years ago, but he's impossible to get now as well. It's like he's hard to get. I mean, unless you do this for a living, where you can give him a call at like 9 o'clock in the morning to do the interview, like during the working hours. Unless you actually do this for a living, it's impossible to get these guys.
Well, and I almost wonder too, because some of these people you're mentioning are very they're very particular about if we've interviewed other people in the past, and I know Thomas is like that for sure. No, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying that's just, a lot of these people, like if you did interview Rationality Rules at some point, he might not want to, you know what I mean? Shit like that.
That's interesting. I did interview Rationality Rules, but that was like years ago when he still
had a long time. Yeah, that was before anything happened. Yeah.
That is